What's poppin', people? Welcome back to the Misplay for Game podcast. As always, it's Andrew or Elixir, joined by...
How's it going, the internet? Y'all ready for Worlds? It's me, Tom. I have a name.
What up, Misplay for Game Nation? It's
We
time
can't
for
be Misplay.
World.
We can't be Misplay for Game Nation. We could be Misplay Nation. That'd be
Misplay
kind of fun.
Nation. Yeah, Misplay Nation.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah,
And then,
I don't think we could be anything Game Nation. That's a disaster.
If any of us win an event, then we'll be like Technical Play Nation.
Yeah, big. We will not... And we're not
Creamy
joined by a
Nation.
guest today. It is the three of us. We will not be having the Technical Play Nation in the form of, illustrious guests. Instead, you're stuck with these three idiots for the whole stream.
Whole stream.
I like that you've laid us out as kind of like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit type beat here. This is pretty
I
sweet.
am the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, it's pretty based.
I want to be the father. That's me. I am the dad energy of the show. I'm like, guys, you can't have too much fun. We have to ban Ukomon.
Right, so my chat stuff is not working. We will fix that throughout the stream, but howdy people that showed up. As always though, for the regular listeners, you know what we're about to do. We're about to plug all the ways that you can follow us and support us on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please, if you have that, or even if you're not sure if you have it, check it, because we need to justify it being there. Rate it 5 stars. And yeah, if you have Twitch Prime, because you have Amazon Prime, it's free. You can support the channel, get access to the member-only content that goes up on YouTube like a week after the members, like a whole month before the public. It's a great way to support us doing stuff, and the more that we can get support, the more we can do more cool things.
The ad-free stuff is pretty sweet too. That's goes without saying. It's
True.
another one you do.
Yeah, you'll only you'll
You
miss
get
out
your
on-
money's worth, man. It's if you're gonna spend $5 USD on something, maybe spend it on that, and then don't look at yeah. Give yourself a chance to watch an even faster Bloom 3.0.
That's one thing as well. I need to get back on my timestamps. Someone actually mentioned that the timestamps were just straight up not correct. I was like, true.
Those never work on YouTube Studio though. It's so frustrating. It's super screwy.
Yeah, I do my best, but
I got both chats popped up now, so I can see everything people are saying.
I'm gonna try and get them playing on stream. Normally they're just a bar down through the center, but for whatever reason, making this 3-shot thing also, none of the chat box is working. At least we're not getting griefed by Discord yet.
Oh yeah, why would you even tempt that?
That was that was the podcast about that. So sad that it was Saf's podcast too.
No, I think it's really funny.
Yeah, he is objectively the highest placing, highest acclaimed dude I know regularly and hang out with. And it's dang, can't get him on TV for anything, huh?
We'll get him back on some stuff. I want all of that trio, the Johnny trio to...
We would have to have an interpreter for Derek.
Just somebody doing sign language, whenever Derek is talking about stuff, and some captions.
It's just so rough because he is so much smarter than me. So he'll tell me something and I'm like, dang, man. And then I think about it, sits with me for a little bit. I let it stew in my head for a while. And I'm like, dang, I was rewatching. We were talking about stuff to do for the show this week. And I was like, you know what? I was going through trying to see if we had any predictions or anything from previous formats to be I wanted to sort of have a definitive oh, Marcio is actually really good at predicting tournament results or something like that. We could have that as a clickbait or whatever. And I rewatched the 10th place other deck profile again, which is a work of art. I would love to just try and get that puppy to a couple more views just for my soul. But that dude has a vibe with deck building where he knows what he wants to do, but just forgets that there are Digimon cards. It's amazing. You'll talk to him and he'll have this concrete theory about the way to build a list. And then we had to remind him about the starter deck Growlmon that cost 2p. And it was bro, he didn't Google anything once. He built the whole deck on vibes.
Yeah. Just vibes based deck building.
I mean, and it does so well. That's the crazy bit about it. I mean, to be fair, there are people that main green or they'll main blue, yellow, a particular color. Bro is maining dishonest Digimon.
He makes it look good too.
Yeah.
You try and sit down and play some of those decks, and I get clapped up by Red Hybrid in 3 turns.
Yeah.
It's an art.
imagine like you're on the other like end of it, right? Like you and your buddies, you guys come to your first like regional, and you're playing like hunters, and then like round 5, you sit across from Derek and you play, and this guy just gives you nothing, and you just get Dorbicked like 2 times in a row, and then you go back to your friends. Yeah, man, I just like lost at Dorbick. I don't know, man. He just kind of like.
I've never even read some of those cards.
Blitz Omni's just like really good.
Oh my god, that was my favorite part of rewatching that. Is that like he had just been straight up cheating at the store championship because he was like, it has rush, not gains rush. So he was like evolving with Blitz Omni and cheating.
Okay. If the person scoops and you go game, and if the person scoops, that's on them.
Yeah, you just say Blitz Omni.
Yeah,
and just like
and they're
stare
so
them down.
intimidated by it. Yeah,
they're like,
you very
got
funny.
me.
It was very funny. Good ass list, good ass dude. Shout out to Derek. We get him on at some point. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
What are we doing today, fellas?
I would love to talk about Worlds. That's kind of the thing everybody's talking about at the moment. But there's a few other things. There are some smaller scene sort of, I guess, news items we could cover.
We got that big news. UK regional about fucking time.
In our backyard, dude. It's so sick. We've been manifesting this is that great. One. It's I was actually saying to Emily the other day, it's like
she's in the chat.
Shout out to Emelini. We were talking about the what's it called? Like store regionals.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like being trial ran in North America right now. So
please,
listen,
please.
I'm not gonna beg with you too much, NA homies, but just like show up to your store regionals and make it popular so that Bandai gives it to the rest of the world.
Yeah, don't mess this up for the rest of us.
Yeah, we really need you guys to clutch up.
That's just the Yu-Gi-Oh like system where it's just like the shops host like the tier like 2 events. So pretty much like anything that's like bigger than a store champ, but not as big as like a Digimon in-person regional.
Yeah.
Right? Those like mid-sized events, the stores run them, and then like they are worth like points, and you get your invites and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like, those are the tournaments that like, there's the usual like a regional period. Mm-hmm. So it's just like before Worlds, before summer, where it's just like people are just grinding regionals. Like every weekend, you could go to like
just go anywhere where you can get your circuit points.
Some store in the UK, and you just get your points.
I'm there for it, dude. That's like a League Cup in Pokemon for me, so I'm here all day for that. I think the other thing that's cool is that like it gives you a lot of choices for like, we talk a lot about like repping your local stores and making sure you get your product from places where people can, prop your community up, get, welcoming places for new players. We've done this a million times. And I know this podcast kind of tends to trend towards like the people who have 1,000 hours into this card game and play it all the time. But I do think there's like a lot of like value in having people see like exciting plans about going somewhere with their friends, like making it like a more feasible like mini objective. Like I think there is something to the idea that like lodging and travel kind of puts a barrier on some of those days.
Yeah, it's right.
And so
especially if it's like on a Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Better. And so there's a ton of like there's an opportunity there for local stores to really make something cool. So I'm really hoping it goes well. That would be awesome.
I also just need them to like, speaking about like tournaments and stuff. So the UK regional got announced, and it was like 128 player cap for some reason.
Yeah, that was rough.
What?
It's very bad.
I don't understand why.
I see.
I want to get ahead of this though, really quick. No shade to OPE, no shade to even really the folks that issue out these orders from Bandai. Like I'm sure there is a very specific process of getting approved for an event. Like I am not a TO. I judge occasionally, but I am not a TO. The entire scope of this decision-making process must be so crazy on the overhead for getting the things out to everybody, making sure the pricing is set up, finding the venues for multiple games. That's the other thing too, is like when it's a Digimon event, that's all well and good. But for those bigger scale ones where you get like One Piece, the new Dragon Ball is doing bits, which is crazy. Sometimes there's Pokemon at side events and things like that. So actually managing that kind of like setup is logistically probably psychological. Like I just wouldn't want it on anybody. So I'm happy that they're doing it. But I can only imagine that like 128 player cap is like a knee-jerk reaction from maybe not selling things out last year. So I'm hoping that it's like an indication.
Either that or they maybe doing like smaller tournaments like more often. My guess is that like maybe with Games Expo they still wanted to do something for like the BT15 format and then like save Games Expo for like the bigger tournament.
Oh, that's a good point. Do we know if like Dragon Ball and all that, because like Games Expo obviously was a multi-game event, but do we know if Dragon Ball and all those events are supported for this regional, or if it's just going to be a Digimon regional.
I think it's the Digimon regional.
Yeah, I don't believe this one in Manchester is.
Oh, that's even
It's in
weirder.
Eccles. It's not. It is just Digimon as far as I'm aware, because there's.
It's basically like when we went to Walsall.
Yeah. Because other than that, OPE are running the No Ban List event on March 31st. There's the like Star Wars TCG launch event down in London, like middle of March, and then like immediately following the No Ban List event, or maybe it's the day before, I forget. Is the what's it called? One Piece regionals. So there's just like random stuff kind of in places. They don't seem to have been clumped into one big event this year so far, at least. But I was trying to look at this before. I don't think last year's was either. Like I remember spring being kind of disparate, and then Games Expo was like everything was there, and then they started running bigger events through the end of the year, like Q3 and Q4.
Quick question: are we on Just Chatting or Digimon on Twitch?
I think it's Digimon. Actually, no. I think for the podcast, actually, it might just be Just Chatting. I have no idea.
Any chatists? What's
Chat,
up, Just Chatting audience?
what are we?
I feel like it's Digimon, right? But
I'm seeing us on Just Chatting, but we could do it either way. In a minute, we're going to be talking worlds. It's like very specific, I think.
Digimon.
All right, I'll get us on the Digimon. I think, to be fair, I think it's only a thing for Twitch anyway, because like YouTube's
just lets you-
allocation is just it's something.
Yep. But yeah, exciting stuff. I was talking about we might do it maybe today if we've got time, maybe another week. We've got a couple weeks till we haven't even said when it is. The Manchester regionals are like May 12th or something like May 12th. Which is pretty cool. It's like in our backyard.
Is it May?
Yeah, it's in May. It's in like the start of May.
Yeah.
Or
So is it
second week.
BT15?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like right at the end of BT15. It's
When
like
16?
26.
16 comes out at the end of May.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's just classic UK regional. It's just like we always get the tournaments at the end of the format.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks before the 3v3 here. But the 3v3 is like kind of already weird about that because we know it's going to be so close to product release that there was like I know a few people have already been like, God, I hope I get my cards at pre-release. Like,
Oh, for the 3v3.
that's the people trying to play armor because like those, God knows how much those Magnamons are going to be.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, tough break. But this is not going to be like that. This is going to be the last BT15 event, probably anywhere, which is, I guess, cool.
It's always like that for us, which is frustrating because it means that like the people that put a lot of time into preparing for the events, we don't really get like that much feature or attention on our tournaments because it's just this is the last tournament. By the time that we're doing our tournament, there's already like people proxy playtesting for next things, or there's already like a launch event or whatever. So it's just like we're always just maybe that's why like they there's like a smaller cap and stuff because it's just like, oh guys, this is the only available slot that we had. So it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, I do wonder how all of those do actually play into each other. But I mean, I guess at the same time, 128 means it will probably run quite smoothly. OP usually are pretty on top of things anyway, but it is, I guess, just kind of a shame, especially with the not waking up on time to send the tickets live.
It is what it is.
That was funny. Some intern.
Yeah, that was.
I feel funny. Rough for them because it's got to be. Imagine the DMs you wake up to.
Yeah,
I've been late for work a couple times. I'm sympathetic.
Yeah, I think it's just great because it's like one of those ones that like you joke about it, like, haha, maybe they didn't wake up, and then the message is, maybe y'all just woke up. Tickets going live in a second.
Yeah, I had a couple friends at work and they were like, "This is crazy, dude. I'm trying to finish my calls."
I went to bed so late. I woke up to get this ticket, and then I went back to bed.
You're living. Happy Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of living, we will not be playing Lethal Living this week. I need more clips from y'all, so I don't have to source them all myself, and I've also just been super busy. But the goal is from like episode 7 onwards, it will be trying to alternate every week with our game show, so you guys have even more of a reason to come chill live. But yeah, it's just gonna be chill vibes and making some probably very dated predictions when nothing we predict goes correct.
I mean, that's part of the fun, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's some visceral satisfaction in watching somebody save up for months. Like, I originally had all my channel points on Twitch saved up so I could be like the Kick Jamie I thought like if you got him on for testing, I thought that'd be really funny. Shout out to my boy.
Yeah, genuinely, Kick Jamie has done like. What's fantastic about that is it just turns into a war zone because he comes back and shoots the person that shot him, and then someone else goes, "Oh, I can shoot someone that's not Jamie," and then 3 people just die. In chat, it's awesome.
Channel points were a great idea. It's a really interesting part of the platform.
Yeah,
it's a shame we don't use it for anything other than bad rip-off game shows. But hey, that's the vibe.
Yeah,
Never kick Jamie.
The worst bit as well is
Jamie.
When mods got timed out, it used to remove their mod.
Yeah.
So Jamie being my mod was incredibly inconvenient because I'd have to remod him like 13 times a stream.
A very functional decision, really.
Yeah, I think have fixed it now. I think they fixed it where you would keep mod. I
think it would be fun to have because we're gonna have some folks traveling up. It might be cool to try and record some of the sections. I guess we've never really discussed this as like a concept for the show. But I think it'd be kind of cool if like we go somewhere to film or like get some of the sections on location. Like we've been joking about doing stuff live at an event, and even if that doesn't happen, it could still be like, instead of getting, I don't know, who would be
KnTElixar vlog?
No, but like I'm saying, like if we bump into someone and they want to say hello, like I don't know, who are we like? Who could we reasonably kick it with in an event? You know what I mean? Like, is DigiDread going to show up and be like, "Hey, I know you. I like your videos."
To be fair, I actually don't know if he's going. I don't know if he got in time.
Yeah. Well, okay. This was just a hypothetical scenario.
Jamie,
this is a very exclusive club. You were like, if you knew about this regional, you were there at 11 and you waited the extra 28 minutes.
Yeah. Scottish time zone. It goes crazy.
It sold out in like 30 minutes too.
Yeah, it went quick.
I think Agito said it was 21 minutes, and I don't think that was accounting for the 28-minute delay.
Yeah. Ugh.
What's very funny is Jess missed it.
Oh.
Yeah, just
I imagine waiting that long.
One time they didn't have to be asleep.
Yeah, imagine waiting all that time for like crazy good metal Edamon value, and that deck finally gets cards, and then there's just no event to take it to because you missed the ticket.
Yeah,
it's a challenge.
Couldn't be me. I upended everything to make sure I got it.
Even
though I am trying to cast and I am not trying to actually play.
Yeah, you guys are trained professional casters.
Oh, like, I'm playing.
Yeah, I know you got the itch, but like I'm just saying, there's like we could be going just to see stuff. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
No, I want to play.
I know, but in a scenario, Marcio, play with me in the space here, brother. Imagine that we don't get a ticket because they cap everything at 120 for a little while. We just be like, can we do, y'all got any media badges?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, we could go do the vibes. We could go be the Digimon guys.
Sure. However, as somebody who's stuck in this format for 3 months, I think I want to at least play an event,
Yeah.
But, and an event with cards in it. Because I feel so bad for the online regional folks who are going to get absolutely punked by the UK and Italy delays on the starter decks.
Yeah, shout out to TommyNT. My guy is going
They've fully pulled the rug on that now. Those cards aren't legal for the online raid and trade now. Which, like, I think that's for the best, but it still is
UK and Italy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same provider, I believe, or distributor.
It's just an Asmodee issue again.
So
it was around this time too. I hope BT16 is on time.
Dude, I need BT16 to be on time, bro. I cannot.
You haven't bought a case of this one, have you?
I'm not part of no, I'm part of the case though.
Yeah. Oh, I have to pay in for that. Oops.
Yeah, we gotta sort out the case.
And also, if we do a big old sponsor drive and we all play some questionably good mobile games, we could also just do another case. But
yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Wouldn't that be pretty cool?
I would like that. I was saying before, you and I were talking about this off stream, but one of the things that would be really cool is to just like do a Manchester survival guide courtesy of the good folks here at Misplay for Game. And it's like, here's where you get your takeaway. Here's where you guys meet up when somebody drops. Here's what you do on your Saturday. But it would be fun to do like if people are like, oh, I can get to Manchester easy. I think it's a decent. It's like
it's easy.
Walsall was good too, but like Manchester is so easy to get to.
Yeah,
it's like if coming from Scotland, it's easy. Coming from Wales, it's easy. Coming from London, it's really easy.
It's like a 2-hour train.
Yeah, I think it's super well connected. I think it's probably 2 hours to Birmingham, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
the UK is a weird size.
It's one of those ones as well. They actually picked a decent venue that's like it's not fully on the tram network, but like
Oh
You
yeah, the
can
community
get there
centers.
quick.
Yeah, and for folks who are going to be like coming in to stay somewhere, I think it's a great place. It's near some good restaurants. That's what I'm saying. So we could do like a survival guide or something. But the what's it called? The hypothetical win a box or win a case event that we cover is like, thanks for watching the show. Come through, get you two casting or whatever.
Yeah, I was looking
That
at
would
it.
be
I was
fun.
like, damn, May is 2 months away. Meaning, if we want to hit double max, I would need to do 2 different months, which we are running out of time. March. If you see it in a video, it's because we have figured out we're out of time, and I don't know. You're gonna play some bug mobile game, and you will enjoy it.
I mean, I'd be down to like host like a community event, kind of like the Griffins Gaming 3v3, but just like not 3v3, just like a launch week or like
Yeah, we'd have to
pre-game
figure out whether it would
expo
be like webcam or offline.
I think it'd be neat to do an offline one. I think we're in a unique position where, like, with enough foresight, it's the sort of thing where we could do a fake store regional. You know what I
You could
mean?
also just talk to a university. There's like 4 Manchester universities that
Yeah.
probably have a space that can be rented out through a society in order to dodge venue costs.
My alma mater had a games convention thing there because of all the programming and gaming school stuff. So might be something to check in with. I ran the game society there. Shout out to the University of Salford. Good times. But yeah, that'd be fun. It's gonna be cool. Hope to see y'all there. If you guys got tickets,
And if
because 120 of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the 3 of us got it, and then I know a couple other people got it. So
most of our testing group
Yeah.
got it,
so by
and we're like 20 people.
yeah, by quick math, I hope to see 99 and you and your 99 closest friends in the Salford Regionals.
Do
So you can come say hi to us.
We may have
Yeah.
funny gubbins on us for people.
Very cool.
Also, especially if you're like a member, like we do have members that aren't just people I know personally. So if those of you that are like actually in the UK, if you're members and you're at the event, come say hi. I will have
Yeah,
gifts.
that'd be
I
hype.
will have gifts for members, and I will also have just random gubbins.
But you bet your ass will be checking. You better show up your like membership thing, and it better say at least 2 months. Start
Membership
now.
check.
I'm not even kidding. This is not a promise that the gift will equate to something other than just supporting the channel, but yeah. But yeah, that'd be fun. Regionals in May. That's exciting. I hope whatever else we do the rest of the year, the fact that it sold out in like no time at all is a good omen because Digimon is hype.
Yeah.
I will say
this year.
at least being at the end of the set or like the format, we do have a decent amount of tournaments leading up to it, so we'll get like, I think our tournament will be the most like it will be the tournament that you can prepare the most for because you'll have so many like results to pull from and like data, especially like the tournament being like post Double Typhoon, post ban list. There's no Mickey Mouse format. This is just here's BT15 under export format and play Melgo or something, and it'll just be like
it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Also, I think like the fact that we're going into the hype for tonight is obviously Worlds, but there's like there are multiple.
Today.
I guess
there
that's
are
also a
multiple
cool
distinct
thing.
groups of people. So it's like the Worlds format is a format. The Western players are playing a separate format. Some places are playing an even different, smaller, separate format without the starter deck. It's just like there's so much splintered Digimon everywhere that there's like a lot of things to build for and play for.
It's weird
I
to
think
think
it's-
that Worlds is now actually going to be our regional format. Like before, there wasn't really much.
I thought Worlds was BT16.
No, it's 15.
No, World is
It's 15
15
post armor. No, it's pre armor. Never mind. Mickey Mouse format.
No, it's basically
That
World's happening today is no Double Typhoon, but post ban list, I think.
It's post
Okay.
yeah, because it's
So
like,
it is the format that we would be playing at the regional in May.
No, because
we'll
Double
have
Typhoon
Double
is going to be
Typhoon.
illegal.
It's if you're
So it's
playing in
Raid and
next
trade.
week. Yeah, the raid and trade regional
Yes,
is the
next
Worlds
week.
format.
Thank you. This makes sense now. Okay, well that's still cool. I think there's something I keep hearing. I don't want to talk about our predictions outright, but I keep hearing a lot about like random builds that have been. I know a lot of the Western players have already met up over there. They've been there for a while. There's all the Numemon hype. It was both of the finals for the
We'll see
February
Top
event.
Ultimate.
I forget. Yeah, I forget. I know Mario's Gaming World covered
Not
that.
to discredit like the Nume heads, but like Numemon was sort of like an anti-meta, like a Pokemon deck, and it is now just like an aggro deck that has some like the deck is very sticky, but I don't know if it can hang with like the other decks. It was very good in such a narrow format. A much wider format, I don't know if Nume has it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Well, it's
was,
also a small pool of players too, so I think if people
Yeah.
know what's going down, like Nume is awesome in 9 rounds. I don't know if I would bring it for 4 rounds.
Best
Like,
of one too.
yeah, there's something to that
You
where
got
I'm
a
like,
slow
oh
hand, and
god,
it's like, oh, I'm out of the worlds.
I
yeah,
mean, you
no
say
tamers
that, but
ever.
like JP Nats was BT16, and like what did they get in BT16 that makes them so
What,
much
Nume?
more consistent? Yeah, than BT15.
The other white Uko, Valkyrie Ace,
Yes.
Rapid Monex,
Rapid.
Protoform synergizing with the Monze Monex and the Rapid Monex.
Yeah,
I guess
they
that's
they
true.
got a couple of things like the Valkyrie and white Uko and the other Uko were
Yeah,
like the
the
main
other
ones,
Uko is the card. Like
Yeah.
Nume Uko is that core archetype.
and like Valkyrie does a lot for the deck.
And frankly, like just one of the decks I keep hearing a lot of people talking about is Leviamon, and Leviamon has I would say on paper, relatively interesting matchup against Numemon that a best of one could make kind of weird. And despite them both getting support in BT16, I still think the Leviamon stuff is net more valuable in 15 than it is in 16.
Yeah.
Because like just got that package is so solid in a best of one. Like, nice security check, dude. You gave me a biting crush.
And like Leviamon can be played in such a way where like you don't have to play for like the Bandai intended like routes where it's just like, whoa, I'm going to play Dragomon and then I'm gonna make you play out a body and then it's gonna trigger my biting like the deck can actually play like a cheese purple deck and just be like, oh, I play 5 unsearchables and I'm just gonna draw into all of them. Oh, Calling from Darkness, that wasn't on me. Oh, I drew Anubis. Wow, isn't this great?
Yeah, I guarantee you. I would love to make that the first prediction of the night. Is I bet you we see at least one of Anubis throughout the world's run tonight.
There's like no reason not to play it in Levia.
Yeah, you
And like
might as
Levia
well.
X, Levia X under Cerberus X is just like, oh, 3 checks, unsuspend 3 checks, response.
Yeah, I was gonna like, even if you're not playing the intended game plan, having perma sec +1 or 2 modifier is never bad, right?
That deck also just has like no bad security. Oh no, a Digimon went to my trash. I guess I can play that off for free.
Oh no, 7th Lightning.
7th
Biting.
Lightning.
Yeah. It is like a more head-ass Beelzemon security, which makes me laugh because that's the thing we all complained about for like a year.
Yeah, 3 different tagged 7 cost options that blow up different things, so you are literally dice rolling into security if you're trying to play around it.
The other thing that's like neat about I know a lot of people have discussed like the decks that they expect to see, and like one of the things that Numemon is super prevalent at using right now in 15 is the Venusmon stuff. But like Venusmon's like crippling weakness is that it just can't save itself from Leviamon.
End of turn.
Yeah,
or
end of turn. Yeah, there's a lot
does not care.
Yeah, so there are some of the safety nets in Nume Uko don't really give it an out yet. It's like missing a couple pieces.
I don't think we're gonna see Fenrir, right?
I think Fenrir has it in a best of one. I think in a day where you only need to beat 3 dudes, and sometimes you'll draw like God. Helugar is a hell of a card.
That deck is like, it depends if people, because if you were playing Anubis, right, or like if you're a purple player, you now have like 2 choices, and you're playing Anubis because it was just the de facto best purple deck.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, which version do you want to go for? Do you want to go for the version that like, has like the OTK route? Do you want to go for the version that has more control? Fenrir is higher ceiling and can play out of more situations, I would say. I think that it has like less weaknesses.
Because you've got 2 Lugas now, so you have 8 in archetype rookies. Uko exists.
You don't play Uko yet, but Tyranno, the level 3 and the level 4, the Tyranno is very neat. I'm kind of a hater right now. I don't think that card's good right now. I could be wrong.
No, I think it's sick.
The fact that it's a revivable blocker is something.
And also it does something when it hits the field is kind of nuts. The going +2 off of something you played for free, and I guess also means that you can be more head-ass with your Fenrir. Like, you don't need it to be an emergency blocker. You can just go...
Is he 4K or 5K?
4K.
4K.
That is pretty good. It gets over a lot of the Numemon stuff.
It's
just like the thing is, it's not big enough that I don't think it just gets owned by Monzemon X. So it's like the perceived value of a 4K blocker is like what's it called? Burning Greymon just smokes that, and Monze X smokes that. I just wonder where the
Oh, that's the other thing, like Red Hybrid. If people are like, ooh, I got my invite to Worlds, I don't really know what to play. What if I just played Red Hybrid again, you know?
three best of ones on the day, dude. Sometimes there will be an Atomic Inferno in your
There
security.
will be no machine players as well. There's
Oh, yeah,
no
you are
shot
trolling if
you
you-
get invited to. Well, I mean, and the Setcom player.
Yeah, they got nothing.
You can't play second. It's best of one.
Well, yeah, I feel rough too because what's his name?
Tiebreakers,
Pete,
man.
the North American Nationals runner-up, guy called
right.
Pete. He got his second place on SetCon. So
Yeah, he
obviously
can't play
different
that.
formats and stuff like that. But like, if his preference is control, I haven't seen too much. Like, dude did not have a public list like for his Limitless page. Could not find it. I tried.
It'll be like Yellow Vaccine or like
yeah, like you're on.
or Melga. Bro's just gonna be like, I don't know. I'll just play Melga.
Well, the other one is Davis, right? Like that's the
Oh,
other control
sure.
deck that is conceivably better in a spammy best of one. But like,
I think Davis is pretty solid.
yeah, that's my kind of dark horse for a best of one match. Is like if all you gotta do is scam somebody,
Win one, yeah.
yeah.
curious to
Fang
see what-
Longmon is a win one game kind of card.
I'll be kind of curious to see what Bryce is going to be on as well, because obviously Anubis is gone.
My money's on Luga.
Luga, I think, would be really
Yeah, I
cool.
agree with Marcio that it's purple. I think it could be.
I think that
Levy.
with Crimson Blaze as well. If you're like, the other cool thing about Tyranno is it enables a red source, so you can feasibly set up your
Kid called
big ass
Delica
board.
Plan.
And
Delica Plan.
yeah, like you could Delica Plan if Nume is going to be on Heavens,
Yep.
and then
They
you
don't
could-
typically run Heavens. All the Nume lists, they're all just
Really?
like, I'm going to play. Yeah, they're all like, I'm going to play 50 Digimon. And funnily enough, that deck has a terrible matchup against like Hercules because you give them a big bug and they just can't out it.
That's why I
Yeah,
thought they
they
would
got
be on
nothing.
Heavens, because they've got
No.
what, yellow, black.
I haven't seen
Well,
any.
they get so many more colors next set. Like they get the
Okay, yeah, maybe
green
I'm
from
thinking
Rapidmon,
16.
they get the red from the Ace. Like it's a really weird depending on who you ask.
Let me
And
see if I
have
can.
some resources from some folks who have been doing a ton of testing for it. Is that really people like to think of Nume Uko as a black and yellow deck with some white eggs from the Numemons, or sorry, from the Ukomons, but the like prevalent winning lists have often deviated from black eggs. Like you can play purple base.
It's almost like black eggs.
Purple-
Our dog.
Well,
Yeah,
Sunomon
well,
is like as good as it gets.
Yeah, and with the ability to just pick two of each of your favorite floodgates, and then the rest is Ukomon. It's like who cares
Yeah,
what egg
I mean,
you
like
had?
the only option that plays like Proto Form to enable Monzai X a bit easier.
But Protoform gets so much better when they get the Rapidmon though.
Of
Like I
course.
wonder how many people are on it yet. That's my thought. And then for the mirror, there's the Waru Monzaemon, which is just like a
yeah, and then
mini
some
baby Pongo.
people play like one Shin Monzai, and then like Ruin Mode is like the go-to. Ruin Mode and like
Ooh.
Merciful are like the go-tos for like.
I was thinking about that earlier. I took a walk before we started recording, and I was looking at all the decks that have won in the last couple sets, and I was like, man, best of one, Ruin Mode really good. Level 7 access is pretty poor in this like limited deck pool. Does Shine ever make a dark horse run here? Like if all you gotta do is win 4 games, and Ruin Mode isn't out to the best deck or conceivably one of the best decks in the format.
I could
Marcus
see it.
turn into Ruin Mode is a hell of a line.
I can see it. My issue is just like I feel like the people that went to Worlds have just not been playing Shine.
The other thing is, it feels like Worlds is noticeably slower. Probably because we have what, like 6 out of the 12 people there are Japanese, and JP Meta just always seems, because they're so used to best of one, and it's like this single mistake will cost me my wife and family.
Yeah.
Like they will play slow and they will chip away. So I could see Shine not having to worry about it being super fast. Like I'd be worried that it'd be too slow. But like if
Mirage is
half
also
the
like-
pool is
But yeah, Mirage then would be my next thought is that if
Yeah.
in the place where you're worried about Shine not being good enough at pacing people, Mirage is that, but paces people.
Like, what's the Uko player meant to do? Like, half of their cards are meant to like draw. So it's just like.
float
Nice
into
job, dude. You
Tyranno.
screwed up.
And then the meta, I think, I feel like everybody is in their heads. They made their mind up that like Numemon is very good, and like it's just the deck is very good, and like it's I think the premier aggro deck. I think Numemon, if you're strictly looking at playing like pure aggro, I think Nume is better positioned than Red Hybrid because you have a better machine matchup. But that's assuming that like machine is like a
You're
deck that people
accounting
account
for everything you'd expect.
Yeah. right? But then it's like, well, like I said, the Nume deck was good into like a pot clean, not as good of a wide format, and like the Japanese players also like they're basically playing a format that they've played before, but they don't really have access to the decks that they played back then. So I feel like it's kind of all over the place, and whatever wins Worlds, it'll just be kind of like a happy accident.
It's gonna be another cross deck out of nowhere. It's gonna be blue flare as it just mauls
Yeah.
Well,
slugs.
I was saying this before. I don't think the I feel so
I can
bad
see
for
Blue Flare.
LatAm. Blue Flare could do it. I think the other one is like we joked before the ban list, especially in the JP format. It was like Anubis, Melga, Mirage. It was like the dog format of EX5. It's like in a world where Apocalypse is gone and Anubis is gone. There's still 2 dogs left.
Yeah. And then it's
And
also like,
granted, Melga got hit pretty hard with the
Yeah,
Gabumon
Melga also
card.
has the slugs player plays Venusmon and the game is over.
well, yeah, no, like Melga is like sturdy enough as a deck that like the Venus only matters if it's on their push out turn. If the Melga player is smart and they start contesting the Nume player like on board, Matt is like insane.
Yeah, and that's a crazy
And
card.
Secret Melga is just like 3 of your things cannot. And then, oh, you try to delete, evade, unsuspend, double attacker, and you just sit on that secret rare, and it's just like, go ahead.
Yeah, that would
So,
be
like-
sick, but I mean, I maybe like what, first stack do the warp, second stack builds traditional Melga.
Well, you can't
do
warp
the thing.
versus Nume because they
They only have like the 1 or 2
Oh, right,
sixes
you
in
have
their
to have,
whole list.
Yeah, you have to have
10k.
Yeah,
10K
and nothing
for the
else,
warp.
nothing other than the 6s is
The
higher
6
than
E
would be
10K.
Venusmon who would turn off the when Digivolving.
Yeah, it'd be like Venus or Shinmon's Eye. But like
Yeah.
the Melga players also have Melga X because it's like its effect to bot deck is like when it unsuspends.
Oh, dude, the other thing is like if people make a meta adaptation for a new Memon pile, the one of like there are sporadic one of EX5 Melga X's that are just like, like the fridge goes out and double ice walls your board. It's
Yeah,
like that
or
pretty
like
much
the-
tells new Memon to
EX
stop.
EX1 Melga also has the ability to like bot deck things with on deletions, and the EX5
all-
Yeah, they all do.
yeah, and the EX5 the EX5 Werderumon gives you an unsuspend. Is it end of attack or is
Yes.
it when attacking?
Yes, the dual color one, right?
The dual color one. I think it gives you an unsuspend at a different trigger
I think it's
point
end of attack, yeah.
where it doesn't play into Venus. So if you go into Melga X, you can like pitch
Oh, no.
unsuspend.
It is when attacking.
Okay, never mind. You just make a big blocker.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
A big blocker with a strong ice wall.
yeah, and also, what is it called? The Ace. Werderumon, the Ace. That card's a good card.
It's a good card.
Draw
as well.
one.
It is a hell of a card, actually. I was talking about this the other day with folks looking at like there's been some discussion about like Royal Knights because it's like this format is so much like
You
make
find-
a guy fight for board.
You,
And
you
it's
find
like-
your one Omni, you're chilling.
Yeah, exactly. And there were JP lists that just like the draw engine just became 4 where Kurumon Ace because he sure does cycle that quickly. There's something to be said
I
for it.
hate that.
Yeah, it was really stupid. It was on play, draw 1, and then get your pieces moving.
So I'm excited for Worlds because it is going to be like a clown fiesta that you can't account for anything. It's just whatever people have like made up in their minds is like the best deck and the things that they need to test for. But like if you think something is good, chances are the opponent probably thinks something else is good. So you're just playing Digimon. It's just like, wow, I was not expecting to play this matchup or something.
Yeah, last year's was the same where like, there were totally different meta reads coming from different regions. Like we joke about LatAm Crossheart, but like dang, they really did just like bust out on Crossheart, that whole format. There was a core group of testing players for that.
Another card that could kind of like make or break Worlds is like Digimon Emperor, because like if people are trying to play like Nume aggro and that deck like thrives off of rookies, Digimon Emperor kind of keeps that deck like in check.
A lot of
As well as, like, all the other decks. Yes, the SR rookies as well. All the decks that like, yeah, there's like a ton of decks that just kind of get checked by Digimon Emperor. So if you're wanting to play a slower strategy, I will happily pass you 3, like to tax you just to like set you back a turn or 2. Oh,
is Garurumon the deck that has an SR rookie that cares the least about promoting its SR rookie?
Kinda, yeah, I think.
I was thinking about that. It's like the birds need it really bad. Bugs really want it, but nobody's playing bugs. I'm not gonna put my flag down on bugs here. Can't wait
What's
to be
your-
wrong. That'll be a clip.
That'll be so funny. Imagine,
That'll
like,
be so
Hercules
funny.
just-
Nobody's playing bugs, and it's like Bryce in 2 minutes just starts crushing Numemons with bugs.
Just makes the biggest.
Dude, if you
stack.
thought the promo Kuagas were expensive now,
Oh, I got my 4. I'm chilling. I got them on the worst 7 apiece.
I would like to address the streaming audience here. If you guys don't have your Kuwagamons and you're trying to work out what your
It's too
alternative
late.
is for Kuwagamon, the answer was to have wanted to play bugs like Marcio did, where you've been thinking about it for 5 months and you pre-ordered the cards.
Yeah.
There's no alternative. If you wanted that card
I'm
enough, you should have already gotten it.
on the Digimon Discord, like the big one, the Digimon TCG 2020 Discord. There's like the different threads, and every so often there are people that I try to be like as friendly as I can, but there are people that are like, "Oh, I don't have the Kuwagamon. What's a good replacement?" It's like, well, there isn't. The replacement is that you either are willing to shell out for 2 of them, and this is your justification for playing Tyrant in BT16, because you're not getting them now. Like the card is very good, but it doesn't have a good home.
Yeah, the bug deck isn't finished yet.
Why
The deck back-
did they get so expensive?
It's just a promo that didn't get reprinted.
It's
and
also-
Tyrant.
It is
Generic.
also the locals killer. Like Tyrant as a deck has an incredible record at like lower, smaller events like Tamer parties and some Evo Cups, but it didn't convert in any national events.
Yeah, so I
and
guess
a lot
if
of
you
people,
need your winners pack promo support, get the most out of your 5 Great British Pounds.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
like there was a trend point where it's like I don't want to say it was the cheapest. I think the promo
It started off like
plugin-
relatively cheap.
But
It
the
started off-
Sakuyamon
plugin
plugin was
shit.
worse, right? That was like
Yeah.
cheaper than that. even.
people were like, "Oh, duh! I gotta get my sabers because of Anubis."
Yeah, Saber was crazy, and then people later needed Raremon because it was a pretty decent Apocalypse piece. So those 2 were the immediate front runners out of the pack. And then in Japan, bugs kind of had like a much more organic trend of like getting better. Whereas here it was like by the time we got the EX5 cards, there was let's generously say there was 3 weeks before it was apparent that Tyrant Kabuterimon did something. And then it was like, oh, buy the Kuwagamons now. So
If you're a bug player, you got them on release. It's just for people that are. The reason why it's going up is just because there's a bunch of people that are looking to maybe playing the deck, and like, I mean, people are going to try to play the deck without it, and that's completely fine. But there's just no card that does what that card does.
Yeah.
it's also like here in the this is my tinfoil hat theory. The Bandai Green Cup is just keeping this on everybody's mind anyway.
Yes.
Because
That
everybody
is
wants
also
to
true.
play a green deck, and like if you like Machinedramon, bugs is about as close to a Machinedramon big guy control deck as you can get. that's a-
Machine or Blackwell Grey X.
yeah, something similar. So
Big.
I'm
unaffected
sympathetic because
stack.
if you've suddenly learned you have to learn a green deck and you're having fun with a green deck, you probably do want bling for your bugs. Do you want 80 USD worth of bling for your bugs?
Do you
It's
know
not even
how many
bling, it's just like
advanced
an
deck
insane
sets you
staple.
could buy with those?
Yeah, for your playset of promo Kuwagamon, you could get 4 Terriermon decks.
And one of them might give you the random ghost threat, and then you could buy significantly more advanced deck sets.
Yeah,
Or you can mail it to me, your
That's
third
kind of
favorite
like-
podcast host.
that's the main thing. I wish like Worlds got pushed back just by like a week or 2, just so Double Typhoon would be legal. I think that would be a much more like accurate representation
It
of
would
what the
have
rest
been
of BT15.
interesting if Bandai just also supplied a card pool. Like, they're gonna have translators for judges anyway, so it would have been cool if they just said, yeah, the starter decks, let's be real, everyone that's at Worlds knows what all of those cards do.
Yes.
Or if they don't, they're going to read them and ask a judge to do something about them. So I feel like Bandai could have at least supplied the Japanese product. Hell, Bandai could have supplied the English product.
I
They're
mean, that's
Bandai.
what we're getting at, right? Like the you guys know there's 2 Chinese players that have been invited.
Yes.
Oh, neat.
So their format is not even close to BT15. I think they've just received like BT9 cards for the first time.
They're like,
So-
"Oh my god, Alphamon!"
Yes, but so like the Chinese players have basically had to send in what they're gonna play, and they're getting Japanese cards for them for the first time. So it's like, I don't think it would have been
Imagine
crazy for
being-
Bandai to have artificially, how many players are there? I know that so
16, right?
yeah,
Something
so there
like
are 3 Korean area players that cannot participate in the main event because their format is so much farther behind. There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Which is
5,
funny
6,
because half
7,
of the
8,
Korean players
9,
do
10,
play
11,
JP
12,
format.
13, 14, 15.
I mean, yeah, that's just like
16 players, right? So, literal worst case scenario that everybody plays 4 of a card. You only need 16 play sets of a card. Some dude at a printer could just knock that out in an afternoon. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It
Also,
would not have
your
been impossible for them to build a sealed
Bandai.
tournament format.
Our sealed tournament format would be sick.
Yeah,
Like
like
how,
a draft game.
Yeah, like old Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments where it was like top cut was draft.
Yeah, very silly.
That'd be
But
fun.
like, except this would be a perfect draft where everybody had everything.
Yeah. I suppose.
So
Bro, it's gonna be like when Simulator, the Bandai Simulator eventually comes out, just like, yeah, you just play.
Funnily
Log
enough,
in, bozo.
not to show like Dragon Ball Fusion World, but I've been playing like Fusion World. No, not about like the actual game.
but it's good, right?
But-
It's a good simulator.
The simulator's fine. It's whatever. It's fine. I just missed like OG Dragon Ball, so I'm just like I'm playing it for nostalgia.
It is a
But-
real Bandai ass card game, right? Like the blue unsuspend deck equivalent does swing 10 times. The red one shots you.
No. Dragon Ball's weird because you can tell a lot of the like things that they tried in Dragon Ball translated to like other games.
Mhm.
So for example, like I mean the most organic one is like One Piece. It's like the same system where it's like you have life,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
mana. Instead of like charging from your hand, you like have a mana deck.
Mhm.
But like the defensive gameplay is the same, where like you're using cards from your hand to defend yourself. You know, like
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Yep.
It's very similar. But on the client, when you download like the Fusion World client, there's like a square, and it's just like, oh, there's just like Fusion World. So my guess is that like down the line, they're going to basically use that client and do all the other games.
That would be cool.
Oh, like how Bandai TCG is just like the hub, and you log in and you have it, and then they ask what
Yeah,
game you want.
like
to play.
Battle.net.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be amazing.
But
saying-
the other thing is that the new Fusion World game is using the same system as Pokemon, where booster packs have codes, and you can redeem the codes in the client.
Ooh.
You actually have
So
to specify
maybe-
now for Pokemon because they're getting a third trading card game app.
I could talk about this for 2 straight episodes.
Before we make that the thing, just maybe with the unification of the game, we'll get the client, and then from set 20 onwards, the booster packs will have codes, and then you can redeem those codes in the
Yeah, that would be cool.
Digimon Sim. But that's just me speculating. Anyway,
That's the assumption that like because they've talked about the unification of the set releases and everything like that. So here's hoping that like promos and stuff carry through because that would be. God, could you
oh, that's the
imagine?
other thing. In the client, like there's like promo packs that you can buy instead of buying regular booster packs. You just buy like the promo packs, and it's just like you try to pull your Quagamon promo or whatever.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yep.
I was looking at the promos before because the
Promos are so stupid.
yeah, and it's really dumb as well because like a lot of the if you guys have been keeping up with the goings on
This is just
today at the
this is just a
TCG
Bandai
Fest,
thing. Well, I don't know why they keep doing this.
Because
yeah, the promos being like necessary inclusions and
Yeah,
stuff.
just make them altars. The altars are fine. Why do we need to make playables out of promos?
please buy
it's
product.
I mean,
Yeah, buy more, buy codes now.
well, it's like it's supposed to be rewards for you going to locals or buying product, but like, come on.
But when they make them box toppers, is it really a reward? There should be like the thing is, it's like one set with how many cards were in a thing? Was it one promo
Yeah, it's one
from
promo.
the EX5 box? It's just like
Oh Jesus! I just looked up Quagamon and it's 35
yeah, it's so
euros.
bad, man.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So Mario actually spoke about this. It was either today or yesterday. Apparently, BT6 or Double Diamond, or it might have been BT5, whichever. The like Palmon promo, they used to get 2 promos a pack.
Yeah, 2 promos per pack.
I'd be curious to see if we get that again.
I think,
Oh yeah, the jamming Palmon.
but surely there's like a tipping point where you just start like putting them in participation at stores.
Yeah, just
Like if they don't want the promos to become expensive on the secondary market, they can't make it tied. Like the reason these cards are expensive is because they're scarce, and they're only scarce because they're in an expensive thing. So you spend all your money getting a booster box. then
a
you're like,
wild J.
what's up, background cameo?
Yeah. Shout out to the artist that made far too many of my sleeves.
Do
I
we
didn't
want
know
to ask?
Jay
Do
started
we want to
smoking.
ask what the opinion on promo scarcity is?
The door is already closed and
It's
locked.
too late. That's what they think. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be nice to like just not make cards that are not obtainable elsewhere. Like, you know, if you're gonna make a promo, put it in a stupid starter deck like they used to. Like,
Yeah.
remember the memory boosts were the first one I can distinctly remember as like, oh, this is a pain in the butt promo that I need a bunch of.
Well, they were in the starter decks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's what-
saying. And like
Yeah.
that was minimized because they were in starter decks.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
you
actually,
buy-
Davis. Do you remember Davis being de facto Mr. Blue mem setter? And it's like,
But he was
Yeah.
still in a main series booster set. It
yeah,
just
no,
sucked that he was.
I mean, yeah, he was SR 1.5, but like I started in BT8.
oh, by then,
My ass
they
was
were out of print
not
by
getting
then.
my hands on Davis. I somehow got 2, I guess. And there was like, oh, I can't afford any more Davises because they keep going up. And then they got put in Ragnar. The only reason I became a Ragnar player is because
You wanted to
Davis.
Jamie was getting Jessmon, so I was getting the other one. And I needed 2 of them because I needed 2 Davis.
Yeah, it
And
is pretty crazy.
Now I'm cooked beyond belief.
So
Yeah.
imagine a world where like you guys swapped and you would have been the Jessmon guy, and Jamie would have been the Ragnar guy. Maybe you would
Then
have had your top by then.
then
remember the
maybe I would be
Beelzemon
putting
night.
searches in Jessmon or some shit. You know me. Me and Trix left alone, both cooking the same deck.
You guys burning gasoline in your kitchen stove, absolutely poisoning yourselves. I don't know. The promo thing is we've talked enough about like the exciting
Promos
part.
suck.
Yeah, promos suck. And like,
Or-
you think about like the Tamer Party stuff, like these like the O2 movie, like the what's the actual movie called? Oh my god.
What, the beginning?
Yes, the beginning, and like how
The
expensive.
beginning.
Like I'm sure a lot of people will relate to this, but like our Discord for our local server has been like, yeah, anybody got any Patamon promos for like a month? It's like, no, nobody has Patamon promos.
Do
If
you
they
know who
got them,
does?
they've been holding on to them this whole
Shambo.
time.
Because the
Yeah.
random sweep.
Yeah.
I got given so many of the demo decks from when like I won the half case for
I think it's about-
BT13.
Is there any bonus product coming in BT16? Because if there is, I
We
think
don't
you
know
should
yet.
win it.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Can't really say.
Yeah, Marcio, I can't understate how much of the fanboy sweep is riding on people doing well at this event.
Just like, okay, guys, you
I'll have to see. I haven't bought my ticket yet. I recently
haven't bought
discovered
your 3v3 ticket?
I
Well,
don't know
'cause
if
we
I'm
don't know
gonna
what
be able
teams
to
are
go.
left either.
Yeah, teams are weird, and then I also might have some other stuff going on in May, so I will have to have a look. But it's a whole thing. Digimon this year, man, it's gonna be. Card games are still sick, but I feel like I have to work really hard to get my fix.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping what is there to say? Like simulators would be a big help for an online community. The water is wet.
Yeah.
It wouldn't replace tournaments. But
Store championships, just
God, please, store regionals.
dude.
Story, just
imagine-
even regular store champs. Like, when was the last time we had a store champ?
Genuinely, it was 2022
BT
season.
13, right?
Yeah.
No, 12, I think.
Real?
Yeah,
I think it
because
might be or
Ben got
EX4.
his-
EX4 for sure because I was on Galamon.
No, sorry, no. It was 13. It was BT13. It was
Oh, right,
BT13.
yes.
Yeah, because I had the secret rare. Yeah. That was I got a store champ dub with Galamon, and only because I dodged Derek's machine.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's the SAF way. You just dodge the machine player.
I had 23 Machinedramons in bracket last year, so if there's a man who's deserved a break, it's me.
It's
Just
crazy.
play a different color, bro.
I do. I have purple now. I got sick of losing
That's
them.
not really. I mean, that's fine.
It's funny as well because it's just like your brother is loudly the biggest Machinedramon hater in the world. You just have been
Yeah.
quietly suffering. Like,
It's awful. I hate that
like,
matchup.
The person holding up the like drowning baby. That's just you
Me
strapped to the chair.
fastened
at
to the
bottom
yeah.
of the
Harry has
pool.
one, admittedly incredible win against Machinedramon and a quiet streak of doing well against them. But like, nobody hates black decks like me, dude. I hate black decks. It's so frustrating. Like, I played more Alphamon games than anyone in the UK last year. Guaranteed. Bracket with Alphamon and I is just like, I sit down, I watch them resolve the one of that they always have, and I'm like, here we go again. I would literally rather they print another security attack inherit for that stupid deck than make it safer again. Just the identity of being invincible is so boring, and I'm so over it.
Turn it
At
sideways.
least you can kill Greymon enough times that it falls apart.
You turn it sideways. It's so easy.
Yeah, well, now I started milling them. Things got better.
Find your one of now.
Yeah, I threw it in the garbage. Machinedramon, stop picking it back up. Yeah, good times.
Funny.
All right, fellas. I would love to make some firm decisions because I think we kind of got wishy-washy about like, wouldn't it be funny if Thingy won Worlds or bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But
Let's make some decisions. Let's put
Let's
some
make
money
some
on this.
calls.
Well,
Yeah.
let's not put money on this. I was joking.
Well, the clip, I propose that following this, we all clip ourselves. And then, like, we could absolutely lambast.
I am not
whoever-
letting you give me a fade.
No. Not that kind of clip. We're good. The
Not
marketable
that kind
Twitter,
of clip.
the marketable Twitter kind, dude. Don't worry.
Okay,
about
okay,
it.
okay.
Well,
Will
they
I get
say
turned into
low
a YouTube
taper
short?
fades are pretty viral now.
You just by asking if you've been turned into a YouTube short right now, we're in the YouTube short.
Okay,
right
this
now.
is the YouTube
This is
short?
it right now. It's happening right now.
Feature
Let
me.
me
Don't
out.
be a
Let me
bozo.
out.
Pick correctly.
I'm not. I swear to God, I was in landscape a second ago. What happened? This will be less funny on Apple Podcasts, but you should still review us 5 stars.
Yeah. Did you know you can stream in vertical now on YouTube as well?
You can stream in vertical.
Yeah,
Yes,
I guess
a
it's for
YouTube-
like IRL streaming, right?
Yeah, I got a YouTube creators things like you can stream in vertical now. I'm like, guess who won't be doing
I
that?
should stream on YouTube again. YouTube is cool. There's
Yeah.
something about YouTube streaming these days.
Apparently,
Yeah,
we can
YouTube
start
got
streaming
better.
on TikTok soon. They took away the exclusivity thing where they're just gonna like
Dude.
look, and if you stream regularly.
Oh my God, that's the sub goal.
Dude.
If we set like a Twitch sub goal, we'll do a TikTok stream where one of us will cut up soap. Marcia will play he will quote his favorite Family Guy jokes, and then Andrew, you'll play Subway Surfers.
No, can I read? Can I do like a Reddit reading?
Okay,
Hello
you
there.
do Reddit readings.
I am
I'll play
male
my.
24 and my GF 33.
I am
went
red
to-
level 3 and my tamer card.
We went to the forest and then she found a teddy bear. The teddy bear then took over my life. Am I the asshole?
When I deleted it, it spat out new Memon. Yes, we'll do like an ADHD deprived TikTok live stream. That'll be hilarious.
Genuinely, the shuffling vids were supposed to be the gateway into it because I've been
Roasted bits.
I've been
People-
sitting on this joke for like 7 months of just like, oh, I should do what each color says about you, and then just start going like, red players require you to have shuffling vids in order to still maintain their.
I have a
attention.
fidget spinner right here.
Well, no, but like I'm a green player and I'm just like, most of them I'm just shuffling because
I am the asshole. I am the asshole.
Yeah, it's like, hey Reddit, am I the asshole for swinging for 3 checks and then quartz locking my opponent?
My
Hey
opponent
Reddit,
didn't
am I
set-
morally wrong for playing Quartzmon?
Reddit, am I morally wrong? My opponent didn't set their security, so I took the game instantly.
Divorce Quartzmon, that card is bad. Red flag. Thanks for the silver.
Divorce Quartzmon, marry the Death Xmon, hit the new Memon.
Thanks for the silver.
Dude, it's so yeah.
Whoa, this blew up. I wasn't expecting it.
I would love to make like deeply, just absolutely riddled ADHD content for the Digimon TCG, because like at its core, it is kind of a sit down and focus card game. Like there's a lot of like, oh, I kind of have to me when I lean forward and lock in. But like, I think that would be hilarious. It's like we just get like Family Guy quotes or something.
Yeah, I think
Hello,
it would be
is-
really funny. I would
Hey,
just
Lois.
like, I've
Hey Lois, no options in security. Peter, that's a delicate plant. He's a delicate plant. That's the spinoff. Guys, what Digimon would be the funniest Digimon to come through the door in the Family Guy house? It'd be Pulsemon.
No, Pulsar is like too Sonic the Hedgehog-y.
I mean, then it would have to be like someone like an absolutely like Examon. It's just
Peepusmon.
his foot. Shout out Peepusmon. I'm so
He's
excited.
finally in the game.
The armors that are coming. We were talking before we started streaming. Hello, live audience. That we were talking about like, isn't it weird that there's like armor cards? Like, there's so many armor Digimon that nobody knows about because they're not particularly.
Should we talk about the armors? I don't know what we're doing for the bonus.
Well, I want to
episode.
predict. I want to predict the worlds thing. Let's
Yes,
save
we
some
should do that.
Okay,
Peepusmon.
let's do worlds first.
Yeah. Sorry, we got distracted.
Let's get
like,
turned into YouTube shorts.
yeah, ironically, we got distracted about Family Guy and cutting soap and TikTok ADHD content to
Oh
talk
yes,
about the worlds.
Brian. I use Super Shocker and my Hercules has 3000 DP.
Brian, I paid $5 for the hard slam machine. That's Donald Trump. I lost it.
Brian, the stock build is better, Brian.
So this time we're not going to be in the YouTube short, but we are going to talk about the world's predictions, because then later on, when I don't know, we call the shot and like somebody's like, oh, I think it'll be double purple decks in the finals or something. Like, that's not my opinion, but we could talk about it that way and be like, oh, look how right we were, and it will be fun in a week when we can laugh at each other.
See,
Shall I I'll plant my flag in the ground here?
sure.
I do not think Nume Uko will win Worlds. I think it's going to bust her out.
I agree.
I think there's gonna be at least one in top 8. I wouldn't be surprised if at least.
Well, if there's 16
top
people,
8 is one win.
Okay, sure, top 4 then.
If there's a mirror, you did it.
Okay, we'll have one in top 4.
Sure.
Okay, I fuck with that. That's cool.
I think that like at least 2 of the Japanese players are just going to slightly downgrade their BT16. Like Deep is playing, and he was on Slugs, and he only lost the Slugs. So I wouldn't be surprised if him and the guy that actually won NA Nats were on some form of Slugs, and just like maybe just tooled down the pieces they can't use and found replacements. Like obviously Valkyrie Ace goes stupid, but it's not like yellow is hurting.
It's not necessary.
I think yellow's kind of hurting for good aces. It's like you have Anjumon and Anjawumon, and it's just like
and the thing
no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Azulong. I think that's something that the Nume players have been looking at is Azulong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's because the space for level 6 blast evolving is so much better in yellow than for slug specifically than 5 blast evolving, because it's like, you get to the situation where you're like, oh cool, I'm on my mono black rush Numemon. Or Nume X, who is mono black, which is basically the most sticky part of that archetype.
Yeah. So. That having blocker as well, giving the rush deck just access to easy blocker all the time, and armor purge as well. What were they thinking?
Jellymon kind of cooks all those decks, I'm not gonna lie.
I think Mirage does too. Mirage is...
I would like for someone to play Jelly, because like, you just drown them, just take away their sources, there's no protection, and you just send it away.
That would be such an insane, just like shot to take.
Just like Jelly wins Worlds,
bro. Especially if it's like a Western player, like Japan. Sure,
best
like
one on.
Dude, I want it to I want the weird decks to come from like people that don't live in Japan. Like it's always really fun to see like Japanese deck building, but I just want like one of the Chinese players to be like, yeah, I've got access to every card in the game because Bandai's building it. Run me them jellyfish.
Yeah, or like there will be something that hasn't seen a top ever before in one of these decks. Like there will be some like absolute craziness. It's like I don't know, dude. What's an unusable promo right now? Like the red hybrid players will be on like promo.
That Harry has been killing people on Jelly in our server, and it's like, I mean,
he's a propaganda specialist.
Yeah, Jelly. It's like, in a nutshell, it's like, okay, I'm going to swing for 2 checks, and then I'm going to unsuspend, and then I'm going to swing for 3 checks, and then I'm going to blitz Omni you. However, while doing all of that, I'm taking away all of your sources.
Yeah, and it's not requiring you to set up an alliance, X antibody tamer, or anything like that.
Also, it gets to play double aces. You get to play Zudo and Jelly Ace. Amphiace, sorry.
Yo, Jelly Ace.
You promote a level 2.
The way Harry talks so passionately about this deck, he can convince anyone.
True.
Harry is his own Subway Surfers dialogue. So he's like, you're trying to pill people on Amphimon for the week, and it's like, okay, listen up. Here's what you do: 2 checks, and jumps over the subway train. 3 checks, and he goes into the ring.
It's like they was like, to deceive your enemy, you must first deceive your allies. And H is like, one step further, I will deceive myself. Full-on delusion, and all of us will sync together.
I'm just lying.
So anyway, here's my BT16 Doggrass list.
Can Nume out the gatekeeper? Bro. No, Numemon does not natively have outs to gatekeeper. So Mother D Reaper.
X.
Minus the 10k on it. Sure, hypothetically, they're losing a lot.
Giga wide.
Yeah, I mean, good luck going giga wide.
Giga wide, and then you still get sec -1.
Pallades head removing a body every time
X, when you play something by effect, you shrink by 3, or not 3, but like you shrink by an amount for every guy.
Sure, but like D Reaper is exceptionally good at removing a bunch of little shitters. Like Pallades head and the spiking guy. I don't remember. Let me pull up D Reaper as a tag.
I think it's only
We're
Pilates
not talking
head.
about D Reaper.
It's only Pilates head unless you're also on Death X, which Nume would play into. And you could.
This is not productive.
You can also run Red Tamer to Crimson Blaze.
I feel like if you're playing D Reaper, you're at that point you're just playing Davis now. You the weird like white deck, it's just Davis now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There are no white cards in Davis.
Yeah, but
except the
what's-
options.
But
what's
it's
good that
basically
raids-
a white deck.
What's good
Sure.
that raids right now?
Oh, that's tougher. I still think Wargreymon has a niche, but it has a bad time into some of the other things.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would call like
It's
genuinely.
a safe pick though.
Like
Like
do you,
Blackboard Greymon versus
Yeah,
Nume,
BWGX in a best of one. Holy.
you,
What a deck. You opened the one up, brother? Good job.
it's like Greymon. You have Greymon, Blackboard Greymon X for Melga, and then you have like DP minus and DDigivolve protection too with Metal Gray X.
plays around.
You're just slow as shit.
Tamer Hate is much more valuable in a best of one.
I will say the lack of the Terriermon starter deck kind of makes it really awkward as well. Because like with the Terriermon starter deck, I think you'd see a lot more just like shrink being thrown around.
Oh, because of all the rapid mons, sure. There's still
Yeah.
a lot of shrink in Nume though.
I guess, but like the
can
DDigivolve
play Star Sword.
protection and DP minus protection doesn't feel as relevant. Like I guess Nume can do it, but I'm just thinking like, damn, that shuts down all 3 rapids.
Yep.
Real shame you won't be seeing any.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
really
know, there's
annoying as well
something
because like in the pictures that like East posted where he's like with all the Western players, I was just like zooming enhance on like Bryce's playmat and I'm like, that is
Yeah.
a golden rapid. He's on bunnies, and then it's like, oh wait, they're banned. He is not on bunny.
Just
Yellow
hanging out.
vaccine.
he is testing armor vaccine for BT16.
It's probably
Any
like
other- Raid is a weird. You've made that point, but there's like no
There's
raid deck.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, there's
East
no good
killed
raid
everyone
deck.
on
Yes.
Jurassic Park.
He's been telling him all about it. I love that deck. I swear to God, Andrew, if I stop messing around and taking Davis, I will try and get on streams to make Jurassic Park for a YouTube video. Deck is
The
so
cheapest
funny.
Digimon deck. All you need is like 4 Ukomons.
You do need KnTElixar, famous BT15 pre-release all-star, so good luck getting those from your friends, but very good.
But you know some schmuck is gonna try like max rarity the Jurassic Park deck.
Yeah, dude, it costs $2 more than min
Yeah,
rarity.
that schmuck is sitting in the call with us right
Yeah.
now.
No, I actually did give it a go. That's not even a joke. Some of the cards are in the scrapped red starter deck from like a year ago that got released as promo
Oh,
cards
the
here.
Gamamon one.
Yeah. Some of those cards go in Jurassic Park. So I was like, the Gaia Force art goes crazy out of that socks. That is like by far my favorite Gaia Force.
Wait,
tight.
what's the one that the artist competition? Because I've been seeing the new artist competition stuff was
Oh
at
yeah,
Bandai
there's the new
Card Fest.
Demon and Agumon.
Yeah, is that a Gaia Force card?
No, they are. What's it called? It's a new Agumon. I think it's EX1 Agumon, and it's the promo Wargreymon, but not the promo you're thinking of. It's the one with
Oh, it's a bad
like,
card,
tie.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a winner. But it is dope art.
That was the thing. Thinking about like promo cards reprints, we are swimming in security rookies. Just fully swimming in security rookies. I would love to see like just locals packs be reprint packs for like promos. I think just give it like a couple of sets. I mean, really,
Just print them.
Yeah, just print them. Or I mean, you'll get enough of them if you go to locals. Obviously, it sucks for the people that can't go to locals. But then again, how are those people playing regularly enough for it to matter?
Yeah, like I'm sympathetic to online locals and stuff, but I know there's some TOs, like we have a Digicord here in the UK, and they mail their support out if you win.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And they're just doing random packs. But also, even if you can't attend locals and get like your promo reprints or whatever, the fact that there'll be 1 billion of them means that just by basic supply and demand, and if they're an alt as well, it just means the promo is going to go down in price. So it's a win-win, even if you can't get them for free effectively from attending your local. Everything will get cheaper, and as long as like once you've unified the game and we're not 19 promo sets behind and we get 3 different waves of security rookies and people are tired of them.
Yeah.
Big fan of security rookies.
Dude, the golden ones
Dormon,
are
if people wanted to
so
play like
bad.
black-based Numamon, you could just play the Dormon. It's just like, well, check my security.
I think
top
it's
card.
neat actually. I tried it out.
It's the most playable security. Well,
No,
Pulsemon.
I think the Pulsemon and the Impmon are better.
Harrismon is also kind of horrendous in the decks that it's there.
Well, it's a second staple, so it does exactly one thing. which is it can go in the raising area for your extra card and is useful enough as a bomb.
Yeah.
Tactical retreat.
I love losing lethal because the last check was exactly Harrismon.
Yeah, and they tack retreated in, like Marcia said. It's so
Yeah.
fun. Woohoo.
But the Doraemon, I think, is like the most playable out of all of them.
Digimon's not bad, it's just that it's printed in an archetype that notoriously has a bunch of really good named Impmons.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's like most of those Beelzemon lists these days are on no less than 5 distinct Impmon cards.
Yeah, it's the same with Hackmon as well. Like, both of those
Sorry, who? Hackmon?
Hickmon. I'm just gonna
Oh,
cycle through all the letters of
Is this
all-
Jukemon's cousin?
Yeah. Juke.
But yeah, Heckmon, Impmon, like they could have just
I hate
printed
this.
any other slightly less popular card, and I feel like they would be more useful as security rookies. Like Blue Kokomon. There's like 3 of those, and who?
Could have been deck identity at that point.
Give me a security.
Imagine if it was a Vmon. That'd
Yeah.
be nightmarish. You got a
We
Magnamon
need-
from security and a Vmon from security.
They are
Cool.
missing
We
their
need more
one lost
security
blood
rookies.
goat. The lost
Well, not just
blood
rookies.
goat?
We need,
More security Digimon. Are
We
you
need more
really
secu-
serious right now?
yeah, bro, just more of them.
Yeah,
I
I
wanna
mean, I
get
don't care. Ragna's not checking any of them.
Yeah. God bless. Big ups.
Like Sneemon. Sneemon is such a criminal card.
I think it'd be cool to
it's
get
wild.
security level 5s.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
wasn't gonna go there.
Think of the blast evolving after that. Come on, dude.
I mean, like technically, like Black Gato Uber and Sneemon are like level 4s that pop out that you can. They have like decent enough value that like.
Yeah, I
You
just
can
love to
test.
see what.
well, the
a
Geo
level
Greymon
5
literally sees play today in topping lists. Like in Shine, it is a card they like.
Oh, I suppose.
It's a one-off for a reason.
But like Red has really.
No,
bad-
not that one. I'm saying the one from the starter deck. It's
Yeah,
like
the Geo
if it's
Greymon.
in security, it comes out and pops something.
oh,
it's like on-
yeah.
It's like on play pop 6K or something.
And like it sort of has
Oh,
been
4K.
used to fill in the space of the other Geo Greymon that you're missing.
You'd
It's
play
rather
in
strange.
you played it in Agubond.
Yes. So very silly. Security Digimon. Fellas, this is great. You guys keep distracting me. Neither of you guys have made a prediction about a deck that's going to do well at World. This is very funny of you.
Okay, like realistically, it's like okay. I don't think Bloom is going to do well.
I think
because, like,
Lugomon will win Worlds.
I think Lugomon will bust her out as it always does.
No, it's his time.
I
This
think
is the one. Deep's got it. It's Deep with Lugomon on the steel
Oh
chair.
yeah, I forget his favorite Digimon is like actually Lugomon.
He's like, I'm here, brother, at Worlds. He's hearing the voices in his head that I hear when
If
I go to
the
regionals,
Lugomon
and I'm
is
like,
running less than 2 Crimson Blaze, it's not getting past top 4. It will
But I
make it
don't- I
into best of 4, and it will bow out off stream.
my thing. If I'm being real, I think like it's not like a triangle format, but you basically have to go. Melga is perceived like best deck. I think like on paper, Melga is like the only deck that did
especially
not
in a best of one.
Post
in
ban
best of
list.
one. Huh?
Post ban list.
Post
you think
ban-
Yeah, man. In a best of
Yeah.
one, it just sacks you by finding 2 of any of its singleton.
It
copies.
has so many like all of its one-ofs, but minus the Gabumon. I think the Gabumon is the least offensive. But like all its one-ofs warp. Like, it's a tiered deck that has one-ofs that like warp the game. Like you draw the Sec +1 Werderumon, and it's like, oh
A lethal line is so much faster now. You're dead.
yeah, and like it can play for board pretty well. Like, the only issue is that it has a bad timing to like security bombs.
Yeah,
because
it's such a bad Leviamon matchup.
you have evade and like you get to free stuff and you have draw power and you basically have access to like your entire deck. You have a very good tamer, but it's one of those decks that's like it's easy to metagame for. Like a lot of the times it's Melga. If you tech for Melga and Melga beats you, it's because you didn't see your tech. But if your tech comes up, you beat Melga.
Yeah.
But it also has some losing matchups. Like for example, Yellow Vaccine. If there's a Shadow Seraphi and you check its security, you just get Digivolved. But even then, I don't think the Yellow Vaccine players are on Shadow Seraphi.
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
not a vaccine anymore, but it's a cool one of.
yeah.
I'd be curious.
And then it's like Red Hybrid, right? Like on paper, Red Hybrid is well positioned. It's
I
like,
genuinely wouldn't be shocked though if Red Hybrid just wasn't represented at all. Like nobody thought to
Yes.
bring it. If anyone's gonna bring it, it will be a Western player. But because our West I think
yeah, not necessarily.
it
All
saw
Latam-
it saw comparatively less. But again, like the BT15 format was so weird over there that like Like Red Hybrid had an inherently bad time against Apocalypse. It kind of gate kept it out.
I think it's also just like a playstyle thing. Like we never see Japan playing lightning quick. Like sometimes, sure, when like the BT9
Well, I
shit
don't
was
know.
around. but
Completely untampered with Melga, like the BT15 release.
Melga and Uka.
Oh, that deck had like a 2-turn kill clock and was winning Evo Cups.
I
So
guess.
dumb.
I just feel
But
like when we see it at like the big stages,
Mhm.
it doesn't happen as often. They are going to play slower and they're going
Yeah.
to try and better play as someone. And I just don't think that any of them would go, yeah, I'm just going to try and end the game turn 3.
I've just had a funny thought because I was thinking about what you said. Like you're right. Generally, the Eastern player block I don't think commits as much to like super fast kill you aggro decks. Like it is like a rare occurrence in my opinion, just from looking at numbers.
They don't tend to like metagame as much. They kind of just go, "Oh,
They
this is the new
love-
stuff. This is the new stuff. I'm going to play the new stuff."
And they
So
love
I think,
the main character decks.
yeah, like I think
We've had
JP is
two
going to be
sets
the
of
ones on
main characters.
Melga, if anything, because it's just like, oh well, Melga was the best out of the. It's like the only deck out of those 3 that like is still around.
Speaking of new toys, was the Levia list that got top 8 in JP, was that on any BT16 stuff or is that an unchanged
Yeah,
list?
they play some of the Levia lists in 16. Play some of the X antibody pieces they got, like
The one
ones. Or
you mean the Nationals one?
Yeah, the JP Nats one. I don't remember.
No, that one was like the weird like Anubis hybrid list.
Yeah, Anubis,
which I think is also going to, yeah, like I think that it's like that style of Leviolus is like what we're going to get out of the JP players. I don't think they.
It's just because I was thinking like he's at the event. I wonder if his deck is changed at all from JP Nats. Like if you have the Melga player, just like talking about bad matchup for Melga, if he gets his round 1 and it's like, I've got the Melga player. Anyways, check my security, see what happens.
Then. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. The other thing is like Melga is this like known commodity to the Western player block, but the promo 1 of Wergerurman was not available in the East for so long.
That's why they like that deck. Yeah,
they think it's the dude. So like I think there's something to be said for it. It's just like it's weird because I don't know. I did say Lugomon. I'm gonna stick to my gut, but I think like it feels like a purple tournament to lose. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna play something that's not Melga or like a purpler build of Melga, a purple Luga, or Leviamon, like I feel like it has to be a pretty crazy justification. So there are some, I don't know. There are just some interactions I would like to see shake out. Like I think Davis could do something funny. I think like the EX5's like if somebody has something cooked for slugs, this is where we'll see it.
I think that I don't super like this, but I think I'm going to make the prediction that Mirage is going to get top 4.
Okay, I like that.
I think Mirage is.
Do you think it'll be the best positioned blue deck?
No, I think Mirage just has a better timing to Melga because like it's kind of like the anti-meta blue pick where it's like, well, if everyone's playing Melga and the Melga deck just like draws a bunch of cards, I'm just going to play the deck that punishes them for having a big hand. And you also like blue decks hate each other because like your protection
punishes your card draw, the blue stuff, and like all their removal beats each other. Like
all the removal beats each other, and like if the Melga player doesn't go for an OTK and they just like do like a pressure turn, it's like, well, I'm doing like 3-4 checks, but not actually killing.
Burst mode time.
It's like, well, okay, I got like a bunch of Thomases and a bunch of Thomases and a bunch of training, so it's just like you get to do your like bombo turn on Mirage, and she's like, oh, cards in hand, and then just loop them all out, and then she's like, well, try to deal with this now. So I think like Mirage is like good enough. And like Mirage into Red Hybrid is not great. I feel like that's like the only thing that kind of keeps in check. And like if anyone is playing Secon, well, that obviously like Secon keeps Mirage in check. But again against like Luga, well, Luga into Mirage is kind of weird because Mirage is like the only blue. Well, not the only, but it's a blue deck that gets to run security bombs kind of like without really getting punished because of full meteor impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, problematic card goes to your hand. Cards in hand, 8, cool. This is now a 6 cost removal option.
There were even Mirage lists on stuff like Hammer Spark, which is a tool card that like against things that run Delicate Plan, it's obviously useless. But like against the aggro decks, I would argue that Hammer Spark is a better security bomb than something like Full Moon Meteor Impact. Like
Yeah.
Numemon, like losing the 2 memory is way worse than getting a float.
And I guess you could also probably spend for Ice Wall as well. It buys you an
Yeah,
extra
man,
turn
like-
of not dying.
Yeah, like
There's
a
a
turn of
reason
not
Blue's
dying.
been good in every format.
So it's like my one of my predictions that Mirage is going to get top 4. I don't see Bloom getting like top 4. I don't think any of the people that went to Worlds are that practiced on Bloom, and like Bloom is great in unexplored matchups, but for best of ones,
Best of
I'm
one, you
not
don't see your Agitar.
it's like, yeah, best of ones, there's a lot that can go wrong for that deck. The deck is very good in best of 3s. You have a lot of control over your deck, but like one turn and you just can't really play out of it.
Or like a tech card that you didn't see coming. Like if the Lugomon player is on Crimson Blaze, like that can take you out of the game.
I doubt that will happen, but like,
But, like, my
yes, that
point-
would be
that
an
was
example.
Perhaps
Yeah,
a poor
yeah.
example, but like that Bloom is great when it has a known quantity of what to play around.
I think like Levia is probably going to get like a spot. It depends whether or not the Luga players are on Black Gato Uber, which they should be.
Oh,
Surely they
should
are
be.
now.
I think Luga.
It's such a limited pool too.
Yeah, Luga is also going to get a top in my head, and I think like Melga. So like those 3. My wild call is Mirage. I think Mirage is going to do okay.
For me, I think it's if Pete is on SetCon, I think he will do better than going out in the first round. If Bryce is on Red Hybrid, I think he sweeps the whole thing. Like if a Western player doesn't bring Red Hybrid, I don't think it's going to be represented at all. But if an aggro player from like the West brings it, I think they are like in finals. And I think Luga busters if they're not on multiple Crimson Blaze.
When is Worlds?
And Slugs will be the most represented.
Worlds is like in a couple hours, right?
It starts in under an hour.
I can see Red Hybrid also doing pretty well.
I just think it's a representation thing. I think genuinely it's going to get brought in by someone that needed a visa to get into the country. And if Red Hybrid did not pass border control, then it's not being brought domestically.
Whoever made the point about Shine, I can kind of see it actually. Oh, wait, Omnimon Megazoo or Dark Master Megazoo. That's the other
that
one.
is another great wild card pick.
Oh my goodness.
That's a pick.
Under the Bandai Watchful Eye, you're going to walk in and be like, you got rid of Apocalypse. Anyway, see what these can do.
Yeah.
Derek shows up with the hood up. He's like, yeah, anyways, for 10.
Dude, you know what? I had not properly considered Omnimon Megas. I still think it's good, but in a best, oh no, it has the sack factor too.
It has.
Oh my god, you'll find Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All the purple shoot. That is funny. It is a great deck too. Like it has a lot of versatile matchups.
Also, your consistency's got to be really high, right?
Well, it's complicated because until it gets the blast evolving, it uses the blast evolving for 2 things: much stronger effect on board while you have the 5s out, because the 5s don't have to self pop, and actual cycle in your hand. Like the blast evolving represents a non-insignificant amount of your card draw in Mega.
So like, okay, what are the blast targets?
It will not have Mega Gargo, which is the biggest one.
Yes, it doesn't have Gargo. It doesn't have
Vikemon
Zudo.
would have been the other card.
Yeah, Vikemon.
So you want,
but they have
Azulong.
Yeah, they have Azulongmon Ace, and sporadically it saw some use with Melga.
Oh,
Ebonwu, yeah. Over the
green and purple. Yeah.
Yeah, they have Ebonwu. They have.
But Ebonwumon is so slow out of its like.
Sure.
And outside of its real archetype, it's 1-for-1ing a suspend.
Yeah, they have
it's a lockdown suspend. Imagine Melga pushing out and they just get Ebonwu first check.
But Melga, it's a bad lockdown. It's only on unsuspend phase versus real lock.
It just trades 1-for-1.
I think the other thing you could maybe that's a good point with the Megazoo. Shoot.
It's they have Metal Garurumon Ace. At least.
Yeah. This is tough. I had really not considered that properly.
I think the Megazoo deck is like the deck that maybe the Japanese players will gravitate towards because it's like
it's been explored a lot over there.
Yeah, it's a deck that they were aware of and that they can kind of play, just not like at full power. But
some of their like all-time best Japanese players specifically are like there's dudes like Misao are like have come out talking about that deck. So like I know it's a known quantity to the Japanese player base.
Yeah, I can see the Mega Zoo deck, and then it's basically like Q&A, like how much did you test into the Mega Zoo deck? Do you know like how to play that weird matchup?
Yeah.
But then there are some decks I just don't really care, like Saf beat Derek
It's
at
so
a
good
Winnabox.
into Levia though. It just
Yeah.
takes Levia out back.
It's like Red Hybrid doesn't super care about it. Like if you go first, right, and you go, I'm going to play Rookie and Takuya, and then you pass your opponent 4, and then they go, like the thing about the Mega Zoo deck is that its weakest turn is turn 1, where it has to go. I have to play a one of the 6s. Oh, sorry, a 6
One of the
drop.
5s and
one of the
prep
5s, the 6 drop, right? And then they pass you whatever amount of memory. That is like the weakest turn on the deck has, because it's like, well, red can play the Gotsumon. Like the Floodgate Pomomons kind of check that deck.
Yeah, if they're on the Pomomons, that is the. But like, what else are they considering checking with Pomomon? Because I think you'd be.
Like,
I think it's a known quantity in some place, but like it isn't the fastest to kill. It struggles into some of those more like it doesn't really have the best Nume Uko matchup because it can just get beat
Omnimon?
up. Yeah,
They have Zwart defeat.
yeah, Zordi is amazing, but they have to get there, and it typically takes 2
Insecurity just pops out, and then you start Omni looping.
Okay, but if the Zordi's first card in security, that is as much of a sack factor as the
I
Levia.
was thinking more like,
but it's a deck with good sack factor.
doesn't
That's my thing.
Zwart,
Yeah,
Omnimon, like, yeah, doesn't Alter B just pop?
Oh, X program too.
Yeah, they do play that sometimes. But the thing is, the Monze X's are X antibody Digimon. They don't care, and that we know it does nothing into Lugomon.
True.
It's more like it's a deck that I think should be on people's radars.
How funny would it be if Royal Knights did something? Wouldn't that be hilarious? It was all for nothing.
It'd be
In the same
funny.
format.
That would come from an Eastern player. That's someone that's.
Oh, I guess Ibanu. Somebody in chat made a point that
max.
Ibanu keeps the Numemon, like the Numemon deck just doesn't unsuspend, so it buys you a
locks
turn.
down 2, right?
No, it locks on 1 per for Sovereign or Deva.
For Sovereign.
Oh, okay.
So in the
it's a 1-1.
Omnimon Zoo, it's just the 1. But if they're sideways already, they don't unsuspend. So it's like not a bad card. I don't think it's like it's the next best thing in light of not having Mega.
It's a weird deck that I think someone that wants to play Control or Apocalypse adjacent will bring that.
Get the Apocalypse. Sometimes you'll just take
if
somebody
you get
out.
It's just like, okay, you still run your Apocalypse out.
Dude, I don't want to change my answer because I think it would be so funny if Lugomon wins Worlds. It would be so
Oriumon
funny.
is another deck that I think has a lot of potential.
It'd be cool.
The D-Brigade Oriumon stuff? Or Digipolice?
I think
what were you saying, Andrew?
I think it'd be cool if... Well, because Luga did well in the East, right?
It did okay.
Yeah,
it was never the big guy because Anubis existed.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything over here either. So it'd be like really cool.
It's the purple deck that almost did.
So it'd be cool if it did it at Worlds. Like for the storyline, I think it'd be sick. But I don't know. I think that's gonna come down to whether a 6 or fewer cost red option is in high demand.
Dude, there are so many silly Saki decks in this format that I'm having a hard time filtering things out.
Not having bunnies available really blows the field wide open.
Isn't it weird that Rapidmon Blast Evolving into Mega Gargamon was like sort of keeping some of these decks honest? Isn't that wild that was like the guy?
We'll get him in a few weeks.
Yeah. For some people, I'm very happy. For me, the longer I do not have to look at
Leo could also kind of do bits.
Leomon? Yeah, but I think Leomon is going to have a bad time if we're expecting Mirage.
I mean, yeah. Well, that deck doesn't... I mean, yes, it draws, but like you have Digivolve.
Sure, but you're just going to get bounced.
No, I mean, you Digivolve them.
But not when you get bounced.
I mean, if they're passing an option, then, you know, it's just like... You have option. You can sack.
You have Mimi to rebuild stuff too,
and you have like Flashy Boss Punch and Heaven's Judgment. So
just Bancho.
Yeah, you just have Bancho and you turn off the OTK. I think like Leo is like Tom was like kind of right. Like Leo was a good deck. I was just like, no, it doesn't. It's not better than Bloom. The deck sucks. And I was like, yeah, it's just different. But like the more I play the deck, I've been basically testing like the Green Cup version of the deck, which is like fucking painfully slow because I don't have Zubagon.
Yeah, no Zubagon is not fun.
So I can go like 2 checks. But That deck is grimy as shit. That deck is just like
The EX5 Leomon is an absolutely evil card.
all of
On
them are
the
evil.
Digivolve.
The Elecmon and the Leo are evil. DP minus and Fortitude, like the fact that you can go, oh yeah, I'm gonna Evo into my 5 and then like either bot deck something or DP minus something, and I'm gonna deliberately crash into your stack, and then I'm going to trigger all my own deletions, clear the board some more, flow, and then I'm going to go into heavy, Digivolve even more, and bot deck. It's just like
Yeah, it's very good.
yeah, and it's a yellow deck that has Digivolve and DP minus, so it's just like
The combo is natively there. Yeah.
It is pretty cool how the color identities, like, they are just willing to slap those, like, orange hexagons on a bunch of cards. Like,
Oh,
color identity is back. You see this on a 2-color card, it is doing all the things you think it should do.
I know why they made Heavy Leomon a black Digimon. I was kind of surprised that they didn't commit. Like, the Grap Leomon already existed in red. I kind of thought there may be something, but like,
do not make me play a green red deck.
If they were gonna make you, they'll make me Tyrannomon one day, buddy. They can't stop me forever. But I don't know. I think it's kind of like we were talking about this before. Not sometimes a well-designed Digimon deck is not a fun Digimon deck, but I think Leomon has kind of towed that line where it's like it does do. It's Leomon. He dies, but it does it really well.
It is one of those decks that is really hard to be behind against because you just get
can't
scooped.
play.
You just get scooped over and over again, and if you don't get scooped over and over again, he turns the clock real quick. It's like,
yeah, and if he dies in security while you're trying to get set up, it's still kind of.
However, you have any form of removal that isn't like deletion, and I'm like, no, with my own deletions. Or like if you lock me and I go sideways, like and ironically, like if you Togemon X me, I'm like, no, but like I can't attack anymore. Quartz.
I doubt knowing your testing, like your in-house testing, that you'll have had this misfortunate experience. But let me tell you, the deck that like put me off playing Leomon for a little while was I tested it into a yellow hybrid when they get Quantumon. There is absolutely nothing Leomon can do. They just make Quantumon for super cheap and then go, okay, Digimon immunity, and then it's over.
Well, you just ram it, like you just run into it.
Yeah, you sure do your best.
Well, it's like 13, you crash, and then, you know.
Did we even talk about Yellow Hybrid Atolls and opportunity at Worlds? Like, we mentioned
I think that deck is so fake.
We mentioned
Yellow
Venus
Hybrids,
Mon.
like, I think the red Yellow Hybrid build with like the Marcuses and the Agumons will do marginally better than a pure Yellow Hybrid build because the things it exists to beat were the purple decks, and there are still a few of them left. Like Leviamon would have a bad time.
That deck is so fake.
But it doesn't.
It's fake, but best
Yellow Hybrid walks in, it sits opposite from Ukomon, Ukonume, and then the slugs walk over it. So.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it
would be cool. No, it wouldn't. I hate Yellow Hybrid. What am I talking about? I was just trying to be nice. I hate that deck. It's stupid. They should They should have put Jet Selfimon to 0.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What else is like the Oriumon deck is like not bad. Like, but like it's again, it's a deck that is not bad, and it's a specialist deck because that deck like plays the Brigade cards in a different way. And it's
Isn't that another one that just gets absolutely bottled by Gatsumon and Pomumon?
Kinda.
Like, I wonder if the tech pool.
Well, they bought deck it.
Yeah, they do have that.
It can play Death X as well.
Death X is good into the Slugs matchup, and I think there's a conception that it wins you the game, but it definitely doesn't.
What if Beelzemon just like takes it home? You know, like.
I was thinking about that. It's best of one, and you know me, and best
Beelzemon.
of one sack.
Find the Impmon.
Yeah, it's just Beelzemon.
Dude. I don't know. I said before, I think it's a purple tournament to lose. So I put my money on, or my clip, my YouTube shame. I'm putting my YouTube shame on Lugamon. I do believe Bandai has pushed the deck enough, and the format that they're going to play is a nerfed enough format that maybe it could happen. But I would be pleasantly surprised if it wasn't a purple deck that won the whole thing.
Right.
I don't see purple winning, but I think it'll be represented for sure.
My one is Sakon will get top 8 and no further, if it's there at all. If Red Hybrid is there at all, that's winning the whole thing.
I agree.
And
I don't think it'll be there, but that would be niche.
Luga will top 4 if Crimson Blaze is in the deck. If not, it's bustering again.
You know what to do, YouTube viewing audience.
Turn me into a YouTube short.
Roast us.
All right, yeah, we got like half an hour till world starts, which is like enough time to do some bonus content off stream. We're not gonna co-stream worlds because
I
that's
don't even know if they're cool with it. Yeah.
yeah, we don't know if they're cool with it, and that's also an exercise in misery streaming till 4 a.m. or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, if you are at the champions tier, or eventually if you have Twitch Prime or just general Twitch subs, there'll be bonus content for you. We're probably going to talk about like the armors that do and don't exist, because we kind of alluded to it earlier, and we've
When are
kind
we
of
doing
shot
the
our
tier
shots
list?
for worlds. The BT15 tier list is not being done tonight, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Shot.
But yeah, thanks again for joining us for the Misplay for Game podcast. It was kind of fun to be back to just the original 3.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
been
sorry
like
that
5
merge
months.
chat didn't work. I'll fix it.
I think
for you.
it's neat. Make sure again you send in your clips if you find them for Lethal or Living. Information will be in the places that podcasts or YouTube
Your
videos
takes.
put those things, and then any statements and stuff from Engage the Room. Also, the information will be where you would look if you wanted to find information. So do that.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, just be a member. Subscribe on Twitch if it's free. If you have Prime, Jeff, my man Jeff, is paying for it. And
a tier list will be going out for members soon.
y'all want to shout out a player at Nats, or sorry, Nats Worlds?
I'm shouting out East. That guy is just like doing his like best like tour guide duties.
Yeah, it's
and
so
he's
sick.
great.
Yeah.
Did you see that photo of East and Eggman?
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is collectively every news article written in the last 5 months from
two
two
goats.
hits. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna.
I hope
Eggman's
the
just like,
Chinese players-
Bandai.
Yeah.
How funny would it be?
Yeah, I hope the Chinese and Korean players do well. I think I hope they have a good time.
I
in,
don't
like,
think
the
they
warped
have.
format. I would be surprised to see if any of them make it far, but
I think it would be so hype for the one LATAM player Wicho.
Oh,
He did well.
yeah, the
I think,
Latin.
like,
Can you imagine how we would all have to hold that L if LATAM were back-to-back world champions?
Oh, I think Latam good. I think I'm rooting for Latam. Either Latam or like Oceania. Maybe I'm feeling one of those two this time around.
The thing is,
course.
yeah, it'd be very funny.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we'll probably call it there, and we'll be back again next week. Maybe Lethal or Livin will be back. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we'll get the highest placing English speaker of Worlds. Maybe we won't. See what time zones say. And
We're manifesting.
yeah, time zones say, and if people respond to DMs. But that'll be us for now. We'll be doing the bonus content, and until next time, see ya.
Later.
Okay, bye.